All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look real quick into the Idaho 4 case. We're going to watch a video from Heavy Metal Crime, or I think that's what his channel is. Hold on a minute. Murder Metal Mayhem. No, it's a rock and roll channel, but a crime channel, right? Somebody that does crime that listens to rock and roll, and that's cool. All right, we're going to take a look at this video real quick. And the topic is how did blood get outside of the house?
Yes, but we don't see a tremendous amount of blood spatter on the wall. Even the bottom part of the bed that's not redacted doesn't show anything. It's all on the top part of the bed.
All right, let's stop the video right here. Now, what do you see down on the floor? It's wood floors. So that plays a part of what we're dealing with. Now, also, we know the mattress, the blankets, the pillows, the clothes, all soaked up blood. But what blood was on the floor, you can see there by the crush. It looks like a pop can or a bear can or something, crush can, or a wrapper or something, candy wrapper. There's a pile, a pooling of blood there. Now, they're saying that that's where the blood ran outside on the foundation of the house, right? So blood is like water. It's thicker, though. It's going to take the least resistance. So, is it possible the blood ran down the walls of the foundation outside? And let me tell you, if the house was built poorly, yes. If sill seal wasn't used when they built these walls, and sill seal, if you're not into carpentry or construction, it is to create moisture and wind and water from coming in the house. It's a membrane they put on the floor first. It's like foam. Then they put the walls on top of that, and then they bolt the walls to the foundation or to the floor, or they nail it in. So it's supposed to be on the ground floors where the wall meets the concrete or foundation. And that's to keep any moisture from coming in or leaving, heat, water, whatever. Usually they put glue down, then they put the foam membrane, which is called sill seal. Then they put the wall on top of that. And usually they anchor it with a couple bolts to squeeze it down real tight. And then they nail it in with a nail gun, the bottom plate of the wall when the house is being built. So it's very possible if the house wasn't built properly and they didn't use proper materials, then yes, it's possible blood leaked out. But I don't think that's enough blood, but I could be wrong. It could have had a pocket in there where the wall wasn't touching concrete, or they didn't use sill seal, or even carpet glue, which is comes in a big giant tube. Uh, it's adhesive. They might not even use that. Then yeah, blood would be able to run through. It would take time, but you're looking now at what, 8 hours, maybe longer, that the bodies were there and these people were bleeding. So is that enough time for that little bit of trickle of blood to get underneath the wall and dribble out down the side? Yeah. If there was an open area there for the blood to trickle out, and it wasn't done properly, the building of the house, then that means air was getting in, and that's not what you want when you live in a area where there's a lot of snow and cold weather and stuff like that. Uh, you want all that sealed up. So, yeah, it's possible that a little bit of blood did trickle out. But a bloodbath, like they're saying, I don't see it. I'm not seeing this horrific thing. But then again, keep in mind the mattress, the blankets, the pillows probably soaked up a lot of this blood. Now, we're going to hear some stuff in this video uh, that we didn't know. Carvings on the body, decapitation. Uh, we didn't hear about this.
If his legs were carved on, wouldn't there be red stuff all over the place? I mean, he was 6'4", and his legs would have been almost hanging off the bed. The picture outside of the house shows a red liquid drip that appears to be the red stuff, right? And that lines up with the area pooled on the wall and floor next to where Ethan was laying.
All right. Now, once again, if you're in construction, you know why that blood is dripping out because either they didn't seal it properly, they didn't use enough adhesive carpentry glue, or they didn't use seal seal, and or they forgot to nail the wall down in that area. But in a proper built home, should that blood be there? No, it shouldn't. If the house was built properly, you wouldn't see that on the outside of the house. There just wasn't enough blood. There wasn't enough blood in that area to leak through in that matter of time, unless there was an open pocket there. And just like water, blood is like water. I know it's thicker, but it moves similar. It'll take the least resistance. And if there's a pocket between the wall and the foundation, then that blood will leak. Oh, I agree with that. Let's keep going. Yes, Valdez. Rock and roll channel.
It's also, redacted, and something in the floor is redacted as well, which I'm assuming is whatever they removed from his body. But I don't know. In some of the pictures, you could see the shoddy construction of this house as the walls don't totally meet the floor in places. And there's like an inch or two gap there, which is.
Yep. And if there's an inch or two gap there, that means the foundation was compromised uh, and the house wasn't level. So, yeah, I can see blood, not much. It didn't have to be much if it was poorly constructed and proper material wasn't used to cut corners, whatever. Then, yeah. Should we, in reality, be seeing that blood on the outside of the house? No.
Very odd. So the red stuff pooled up on the floor by Ethan's bed or where he was laying could certainly be the origin of what we see outside on that foundation wall. Now, just like Xana, I would expect much more blood from Ethan if he was murdered right there in the bed, like they claim. I'm just not seeing it. Personally, I wonder if the redaction is not so much to hide blood, but to hide the fact there is very little of it. Imagine that for a minute. This whole case has been nothing but smoke, mirrors, and a semi load full of bullshit. A big question that I have.
Leave only a rock and roller could say it that way. The whole truckload of crap. I agree. It's crazy. Uh, a lot of things ain't adding up, and I think it's probably because it was the worst thing to do, probably to go to social media with it when it was, And you have to remember this was a fast case. Within a couple weeks, they had him, and things started circulating, yada, yada, yada. But I agree. Poorly built house. And in reality, a perfect built house for that area, that weather, we shouldn't be seeing blood dripping outside of it because the body don't hold enough blood to do something like that. I think it holds 4 pints or something like that. Uh, and you have to take in consideration that they're on beds. So automatically that blood is being soaked up by the cloth, the pillows, the blankets, numerous things. I mean, I don't know, something ain't making sense with this. All right, let's continue to listen a little bit on this. Ooh, the sun is coming out, folks. Amen. We could use a little sun. It is windy and it is cold. No joke, it's cold.
Have when it comes to Ethan is why was he obviously tortured more than the others with the carving of his legs? Some have said his Achilles was cut. It's tremendously painful, but that's not been confirmed either. Was he the confidential informant that Chief Lanier quietly mentioned outside the house on the morning the bodies were found on the police body cam that was recently released? If so, that might explain the extreme torture. Not to say that Xana's 50 stab wounds weren't brutal, but it seems like Ethan's death may have been drawn out for sadistic reasons.
Now, Ethan, if this is true, this guy is saying uh, murder, metal, mayhem is saying that Ethan's manhood was taken. They castrated him. Now, I don't know if that's true, but if someone castrated Ethan, then that's more of a woman madness, not a man's, right? Not unless this is something totally different than what we're seeing. Could I see him being something like that if maybe this was a love triangle and the other guy takes his nutsack? Well, it's possible, but you have to remember, folks, this killer wasn't there to have folks. All this is pointing to is somebody helped him. You're going to tell me he goes into a house, random house, and now he's cutting people's nutsacks off and decapitate? That takes time. And meanwhile, you got other people in the house screaming. There's somebody in the house. This ain't adding up. It just ain't adding up. And now he's castrated. He's got carvings in his legs. His calf muscle was cut. Achilles tendon. That's very painful. I pulled one before. My younger days of sports. Uh, yeah, all this takes time. A normal person doing a job, even if this was crime, which if he was castrated, then yeah, I'm saying probably somebody did something. If this was more of a hatred with a woman or something like that, cheating or something, or mafia, you know, Ethan was a rat and they cut his balls off and stuck it in his mouth. I don't, I'm trying to be, these are cases we have seen in the past on YouTube. So for all this, which we didn't know about carvings and legs, folks on this channel, I can't say that's real. I don't know. But if it is true that all this happened, that takes time. And anybody in their right mind going to do something like this, if other people ain't in on it, your job is to go in, kill the ones you hate, and you get out without anybody knowing anything or leaving any evidence or fingerprints. It ain't adding up. All right, let's listen to a little bit more.
Another thing that bothers me about Xana's room is that Hunter Johnson went in there to check to see if Xana had passed out, claims he felt for a pulse, and somehow left no footprints, got no red stuff on his shoes or himself. I don't believe that dude for a minute. How the hell does he look in that bedroom during daylight hours and not see the 6'4" male corpse on the bed or the 50 stab wounds all over Xana's body or the red stuff on the floor, the side table, and the wall and not think that something else is going on? I mean, he's obviously lying. Obvious.
Well, it's obvious everyone lied because the phone calls to the police departments speak nothing of blood or any problems. Quote the police report or the police phone calls from the house. They can't get into someone's room. They're not responding. They were drunk, passed out. Police dispatch. Police, we need you to go check out an unresponsive person, possibly drunk, out in the street. They show up. There ain't nobody in the street. They go in the house, and it's a crime. It's a murder, bloody bath. So police think they're going just to respond to an unresponsive person that was drinking and will not wake up. No mention of blood, no mention of nothing. Police get there and the door's already open. Who opened the door? Who opened the door before police got there? Well, they're saying Hunter. Well, how did Hunter get in there? You know, if the door was locked, was there forced entry into the bedroom door? We're not seeing it. Yeah, you don't murder four people on your first. I think I'm gonna wake up and kill four people in a house I don't know nothing about. I don't know who's in the house, if there's weapons or anything. And you go in and you go in the front door and you walk right out the back door. Maybe. Maybe if he knocked on the door or whatever, the food people showed up with the food and then left. And within minutes he knocks on the door and they think maybe it's the food person and they reopen the door and he's in the house. You got to explain to me how we got people running the house screaming there's somebody in the house, and he continues on his mission. He don't get scared. He don't do anything. He continues to kill. He probably already killed the two, Ethan and the other one. Either he was coming or going. Which ones died first? Who knows? Did he go upstairs right away? Did he take the two girls out and then come downstairs and someone seen him, and then he went after Ethan and the other girl? Possible. But the whole time you got other people in the house screaming there's someone in the house, and no one calls the police.
Obviously, but there's got to be a reason. What the hell does he know? And why was he always at that house? Kind of like Jack in The Shining, right? He was always there. Very strange. So, what do you guys think about this? Do the pictures tell you something about the crimes that I overlooked, or what do you want to say about this? Why was Xana's room worse than Maddie's when it comes to the red stuff? Let me know in the comments. Thanks to the Horns High Club, the Mayhem Squad.
Folks, make sure you go over and check out Heavy Metal Mayhem. I think that was his name. I posted it in chat and in the description. We finally got some sun coming out. Don't let it be deceiving. It's still very cold out. The wind is just a blowing. RC says he was cutting off their nut sacks and going crazy. If that's true, then he must have been mad at Ethan for something. Maybe Ethan slept with a girl of his, or there was a love affair or something going on. But that's more of a woman crime. Castrating a man is more of a hatred, a woman's hate towards a man or something. Cheating, like a Lorraine Bobbitt, right? What'd she do to Joey? Or whoever that guy was, John Bobbitt, I think his name was, or whatever. She cut his penis off while he was sleeping somewhere. So yeah, it's more of a woman thing. But for Kohlberger to do something like that, and then this guy is talking decapitation, that takes time. And the only reason you're going to stick around to torture somebody is if you got help and you ain't worried about the police showing up. Can we agree on that? I mean, as soon as you heard someone screaming throughout the house, someone's in the house, you have to take in consideration, are they calling the police? Are they running away to get help? You only got so much time. To stick around and decapitate, castrate, and carve into people, that takes time. Can we agree on that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with more things. RC, I want to thank you for stopping in. You make some great points there. Remember that John Wayne Bobbitt guy? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, that's more of a woman crime, a woman's hate towards a man to take his nutsack and his Johnson, right? And carving into legs that's more crazy. I'm starting to wonder what happened before or after the murders. Did somebody do something to make it look like something it wasn't? After the murders, the killer's already gone. Someone goes in and stages everything to make it look different. Maybe even takes their anger out on the victims, something they couldn't do while they were alive, only could do after they were dead. Well, yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. You folks have a great day. Remember, we got more snow, more wind, more cold coming for the next couple days or so. Hunker down. We'll be back with more information. Once again, RC, thanks for stopping in. Who else stopped in? Valdez and everyone else. Make sure you go over and check out this gentleman's channel. Very interesting. And we'll be back.